Hi, it's Wayne from howtofish.com.au. I'm fishing the Maribyrnong River after a long wait. It's just great to get out. Conditions aren't that great. There's a little bit of work going on, but it is just wonderful to be beside this water today. The process I'm using is really simple. First off, the bait. Chicken, small pieces of chicken on a small hook. Put them on there and make sure that there's plenty of hook points showing. It's got to be exposed to make contact with the fish. The next thing, I make that chicken more attractive by dipping it in some bait dip. This dip has scents and flavors in it that are very attractive to the fish, so they're going to bring it directly to my hook. Next thing, using a berley cage, which is acting as my sinker, I fill it with berley, and the berley is going to be really powerful in bringing fish near my bait. It'll spread in the water and bring fish from downstream. Then I cast in and my trap is set. And it doesn't take long before I'm into fish. So the more berley that goes into the water, the more attraction there is and the more fish will be around. I was so pleased to catch a fish, finally, after being away for so long. Small bream, yes, but it was a fish and I was pretty damn happy. After all of the inclement weather we'd had over the last couple of months, with all the rain coming into the rivers, there was a lot of rubbish in there. There were branches and stuff in there that I was sort of catching on at times. So if you're going to fish the Maribyrnong, you just got to be wary of a bit of debris in there, which means you can lose some fish. Anyway, I got another one and I was getting plenty of bites. I've missed quite a few, unfortunately, but I was getting more bites from these small fish. But you're always going to get those small fish to start with, and if you're lucky, you can improve and get bigger ones, but I was happy with this. When you're using burley, the key is accurate casting. So I was taking a little bit of time to make sure that I hit the same spot each time. By doing that, as I said, I had set my trap. I was building up burley in the area to attract those fish, and sometimes it gets to the point where they're actually waiting for you, so that's good. I was using a quiver tip rod, which was very sensitive, and you could feel everything on it, which was good when you got small fish. But there was no doubt about it, there was good fishing to be had on the day, even though there's the odd snag in the water, and catching fish like this. Just because you can hook those fish doesn't mean you'll get them in, or certainly doesn't mean I can get them in. So this one I'd hooked, I brought into the shallows, there it is, yep, ready to pull out, and what happens? It gets away. This time of year there's a lot of breeding fish coming in. The bream in particular are breeding in the estuaries. I noticed that when I hooked a number of them, they were actually, the males had milt in them, so they were obviously spawning in these waters. So it's really important to handle them properly and to put as many back as possible, because if they're breeding, that's going to give us the stock for our fishing in the coming years. They are good fighters for their size, and I do enjoy that. I was hoping to get bigger fish on the day, but I was tending to get these smaller ones. I could have gone up in hook size, but I did notice that other anglers that were fishing with big baits and larger hooks weren't getting the numbers of fish, if any, so I needed to stay small for the time being until I got the odd large one, and then I could go with bigger tackle for them. I was casting pretty regularly, and I noticed that the regular casting with getting all of the attractants into the water, like my burley, really made the difference in getting the fish coming quickly. When I wasn't focused, and maybe I was just checking my phone or speaking to somebody and I left it, I wasn't getting the bites without getting the burley in there. So regular casting with the burley was really making the difference. Sometimes what will happen is if you can attract a few fish into the area, then they're wandering around trying to feed on the burley. Now the burley that I was using doesn't have any food in it per se, so the only thing they can really sort of pick up on will be the bait. But what will happen is they'll be sifting around where the burley is, and if I'm not casting really accurately, it'll be spread over a reasonable distance. But every now and again, when I would strike after get some action, I'd foul hook a fish, as I did in this case.
Foul hooked, yeah. Got off. Yeah.
I'd really enjoyed the time that I spent there. I caught a number of fish. The only thing is that when they stayed small, I decided that that was enough. I love catching fish, but eventually just catching small fish wears a little bit thin, and sometimes you have to accept that there's only small fish about. The water was really coloured. There was quite a lot of silt in it, so it was quite a brown colour, and this might impact the fish a little bit. I'm not sure if that was keeping the larger ones away, but for whatever reason, there were these small ones about. And on light gear, they do feel a lot bigger. That's great, but it would have been nice to hook something big. Having said that, it was just fantastic to get out after such a long lockdown. I really enjoyed the session. If you've enjoyed the video, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe. And for any of the gear, the techniques you've seen me using today, go to my website, howtofish.com.au. See you next time.